Hey everyone, welcome back to 99.6 The Howl, episode 20. For the uninitiated, this is an unedited YouTube vlog discussing everything Arizona Coyotes. And I'm sorry I let you guys down. It's been 2 weeks, but much like the Coyotes, they've let us down too. We'll get into that this episode real quick. So, 20th episode, another increment of 5, so time to do something special. And with 2016 out of the way, I just want to reflect on 2016. And because it's the halfway point of the Coyote season, I'm going to talk about the first half of the season too. So, it's sort of like a review. So, 2016 was one of the worst years for the Coyotes, for Tippett, for pretty much everyone surrounding the team. They finished the year going 29, 44, and 10. Just abysmal. You remember the second half of last season is when the train started to fall off for the Coyotes. Duclair and Domi slowed down. Production was only coming from like Doan and OEL. Forwards weren't getting much done. That carried over into the first half of this season where Duclair wasn't producing. Our rookies weren't up to snuff as we thought they would be. Domi got injured, Richardson injured, Doan wasn't producing, OEL wasn't producing. So the whole year, really bad. Few bright spots was the drafting Clayton Keller, getting Shaka instead of Maloney, and Shaka making that awesome move to get Chikrin. So that was the one bright spot. Now, a lot of talks have been going on surrounding Dave Tippett and his future with the Coyotes. A lot of people are getting their pitchforks and torches, and they want to drive him out of the state. But I think that's a wrong angle to take. For sure, he's struggled in 2016. He's been struggling the past 2 to 3 years. The tank season, the team that Maloney built wasn't that great at all. And he was just like, what am I supposed to do with these bunch of guys? It seems like he's not that great with the kids, but I'm just armchairing right there. I don't know if he's good with the kids. There's no real evidence that he's bad with the kids, and there's no real evidence that he's good with the kids. That's locker room, and it stays in the locker room. So it's hard to project any opinions on that situation. But I really want a change in coaching after this season. Keep Tippett in the organization, maybe vice president of hockey operations, somewhere in the office. But they need a change of face on the bench. And that's not 100% due to Tippett. It's been 5 years, and they haven't made the playoffs in each of those 5 years. The only coaches I can think of that have been on their team for as long are Claude Julien with Boston, Paul Maurice with Winnipeg. He's been there for about 2 to 3 years, but he's on the hot seat too. If the Bruins miss this postseason, I'm sure Claude Julien's going to get the kick, and he's a great coach. It's just they need a change of scenery over there. Most coaches, if you go through 5 seasons of no playoffs, you're getting the boot. And some teams even have a shorter span of kicking out their coaches. Look at Tortorella with Vancouver and New York. A couple times you miss the playoffs, you're done. And look what he's doing to Columbus. He kind of turned that hockey team around. So I think we just need that change of scenery as well for the Coyotes. Yeah, so it was a bad year. Now this season, sort of another dumpster fire. But hey, I'm watching every game. This is the future of the Coyotes. And when I hear fans say, "Oh, I don't want to watch this game. Why do I watch this game?" You're watching because this is the future of the Coyotes. I don't understand when you see Perlini, D'Angelo, Chikrin, Kraus playing their hearts out, scoring big goals, Dvorak going hard in the forecheck, being good defensively, Dauphin killing penalties. That brings joy to my it brings joy to me because that's the future of the Coyotes. I'm seeing these guys grow up, and they're going to be on the team for a really long time. This is going to be the core. Duclair, every time he scores a sick goal or a sick shootout goal, it's awesome. Too bad Domi's injured. Hopefully he comes back next week. This team really needs Domi. I mean, the Coyotes were playing great when Smith came back from injury, when they had a couple home games. Domi was clicking. If Domi didn't get injured and Smith was playing well, they could have made a case for the playoffs. I mean, look at Vancouver. They're like 2 games or 1 game above 500 and just a point or two out of the playoff spot. So that's another frustrating thing this season. The Pacific is really struggling this year. The Coyotes could have taken advantage of that. They could have squeaked in the playoffs, but wasn't meant to be. That injury to Richardson in the beginning of the season really hurt us. I didn't think it would hurt us as bad. I was like, okay, Richardson's out. He's not that big of an offensive powerhouse, but he just glued the team together. He would win faceoffs, kill penalties, score that goal, score that insurance marker. Just we're really missing him. That's caused Shaka to get Peter Holland, get Juris, get Burmistrov off of waivers. We really, I wouldn't expect us to miss him as badly as we did, but that that really hurt us this season. That coupled with taking the chance of buying out Vermette in hopes of Strome and Dvorak flourishing in center ice position, that was a gamble that didn't work out. But I'm sure 10 out of 10 times everyone would make that gamble. Everyone thought, okay, we have Strome, Dvorak, Vermette, Richardson. We got White. He could play center. I mean, we have 5 or 6 centermen. What are we going to do with these guys? And Vermette was the odd one out. And Hansel, sorry, how did I forget Hansel? So you have Hansel, Richardson, Vermette, Strome, Dvorak, White. That's 6 centermen. What are you going to do with all these centermen? So they buy out Vermette. Bad call. Strome wasn't NHL ready. Dvorak isn't a second line center. He's more of a third or fourth line center. Richardson gets out for the season. Now you're down to like two centermen, and you're losing faceoffs, and that's one of the big problems with the Coyotes this season, losing faceoffs. They're not starting out with the puck. They're always chasing the puck. Their possession numbers are down because they're not winning faceoffs offensively or defensively. Vermette is leading the league in faceoff this season, like he did every other year with the Coyotes. Vermette, awesome faceoff man. Richardson, awesome faceoff man. Both out of the lineup. So now you got Dvorak, Hansel, Martinuk trying center. They could barely win faceoffs. Hansel's the only dependable one. You see Tippett trying his hardest, trying to put Hansel out on defensive faceoffs all the time. So I want you guys as fans to continue watching the Coyotes, continue supporting them. They really need our support. I know I'm watching every game for these videos and just for my entertainment. They're close games, they're competitive games. Mike Smith keeps them in almost every game. And congratulations to Mike Smith making the All-Star team game. He deserves it 100% from the Coyotes. OEL has been playing to his caliber this season, much like Drew Doughty and Roman Josi. They're kind of having like off years points wise and defensively too for OEL. He's making a couple mistakes that he shouldn't be making. But back to Smith, it's awesome for him. He's frustrated. I'm surprised he makes it to practice almost every day, let alone show up for games and be competitive. He's probably really frustrated with the team and where they are. He just wants to win. He wants to go back to the promised land where he took the Coyotes to the conference finals in 2012. A lot of you guys and a lot of fans, are quick to jump on Smith. When he throws the puck up the middle, he makes gaffes with his stick handling and they lead to goals, like that one against Anaheim. And then he smashes his stick on the net in that game against the Rangers. You gotta feel for this guy. I mean, he wants to win. He does everything he can to give the Coyotes a chance. He keeps them in games. He gets some points, and it's great to see him get rewarded with an All-Star game nod. Hopefully, he does well and he wins the All-Star game. Imagine he gets MVP. That'd be awesome. So that's it for me. I'll be putting out videos more regularly now. Yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support.